Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Forrester creations are reclaimed by Eric and Ridge, and Luna demands the truth from Poppy. Brooke stands by himself in Hope's cabin, reflecting. Hope enters and tells that she was delayed in the school carpool line. Brooke has been thinking, "You mentioned that you wanted to talk. Is this about Ridge?" asks Hope. Brooke nods, "And what happened to our life together?" They discuss the young woman's pardon for her crimes and Finn's revelation as Luna's father. Brooke detests not knowing Ridge's life or having any connection to him. Brooke is shocked to hear that Daphne kissed Carter. Hope claims she wants to end their relationship. She accused Carter of being taken advantage of. She was obviously influenced by Steffi. She was ecstatic about wanting to collaborate with them, but then she was. Forrester creations are reclaimed by Eric and Ridge, and Luna demands the truth from Poppy. Brooke stands by himself in Hope's cabin, reflecting. Hope enters and tells that she was delayed in the school carpool line. Brooke has been thinking, "You mentioned that you wanted to talk. Is this about Ridge?" asks Hope. Brooke nods, "And what happened to our life together?" They discuss the young woman's pardon for her crimes and Finn's revelation as Luna's father. Brooke detests not knowing Ridge's life or having any connection to him. Brooke is shocked to hear that Daphne kissed Carter. Hope claims she wants to end their relationship. She accused Carter of being taken advantage of. She was obviously influenced by Steffi. She betrayed her after being so thrilled about wanting to work with them. She muses that not all of the responsibility can be placed on Daphne because Carter allowed it to happen. Brooke apologizes and inquires about their current relationship status. Ridge and Eric get ready to attack. Ridge shouts into the phone at the Forrester estate that Luna has been pardoned. After he hangs up, Steffi, Eric, and he all say that Bill must have been the one who released her. Would anyone else want to? According to Steffi, they must concentrate on Forrester creations today. They reclaim the business today. Ridge is certain that he will accept a way out if one is offered. According to Steffi, Daphne has been crucial in assisting him in realizing what is right. According to Ridge, they must wake up his pal who is half asleep in there. Carter considers how much he misses Ridge in the main office. "You miss him," says Daphne as she walks in. "Your closest pal?" "No?" She assures Carter that acknowledging that this hurts is acceptable. "I'm trying to work," he says. He is reminded by Daphne that Hope has been taking advantage of him. "Keep in mind what I told you about Hope when you eventually return the business to the Forresters." At the Forrester estate, Daphne sees Steffi, and her friend informs her that she awakened Carter's conscience. She just reminded him of what he already knew, according to Daphne. He is a decent dude. Steffi can see that her sentiments have grown. Neither she nor her family have completely cast Carter off. Ridge and Eric are now there to give him one final opportunity to return the business. Daphne inquires as to whether they are issuing him a deadline. They're offering an olive branch, according to Steffi. Carter has been feeling guilty for some time, according to Daphne. Steffi questions whether he can defeat Hope this time. Daphne is aware that he misses Ridge and his respect, but she is unsure. She wishes he will pay attention to his conscience. Carter tells Daphne in the main office that he is a man of principle. Ridge and Eric enter at that moment. Carter is shocked to see them, and Eric responds, "It's been a long time, Carter." "This has lasted long enough," Ridge assures them. "Dad and I are returning to our company." "What is this?" Carter says. "What do you mean?" Ridge tells him that they will give him another chance to turn things around and return the business to him, Steffi, and his father. Luna addresses Poppy. Luna informs a representative at Bill's house that she does not yet have a formal address. She only returned to retrieve some items. The man instructs her to avoid trouble and makes her sign off on her documents. He leaves as Poppy enters. "So, it's accurate." "What are you doing there?" Luna asks. "You're really out of prison." Poppy wonders why she was there the whole time and didn't tell her. Luna reveals that she has been deceiving her all of her life. I would have been adored by Finn. Mom, you told me it was just the two of us. That it was better for us to be alone. Her life was destroyed by her lies. Luna is informed by Poppy that all she has ever done has been done for her. None of the men in her life were worthy of treating her better. Did you ever think Bill could be my dad? Luna wonders. Poppy desired for him to be. But you knew deep down it was Finn, Luna says. Mom, did you not? Luna laments that Poppy's falsehoods are preventing her and Finn from being together. Poppy claims to have known him all her life. Luna believed him to be her relative. The truth was constantly in front of her, and she pleaded with him to tell him about her father. Now she sees it. She notices her father staring back at her when she turns to face Finn. How didn't you notice it too? Luna tells her mother that she finds it heartbreaking to consider how her life may have turned out if she had been honest with her. Steffi wouldn't despise her, and Hollis and Tom would still be alive. Luna claims that no one ever defended her, but Finn would have. Poppy responds, oh no. You took those men's lives to protect yourself, not because you had some sort of traumatic childhood. She is accused of knowing that Finn was her father all along. For once in your life, just be honest with me. The real deal. Carter takes action. Daphne tells Steffi that Carter will arrive at the Forrester estate. Hope is the enemy, not him. He was so infatuated with her that he did all of this, but he is no longer so much. Not after the kiss you and Carter shared, Steffi thinks. Daphne smiles and sighs. Brooke is still in shock that Daphne and Carter shared a kiss at the cabin. Hope assures her mother that nothing will alter her and Carter's commitment to one another. Ridge summarizes at the main office how Carter lost his integrity and ideals after hooking up with Hope. He acknowledges his struggles. He is pleased that they have recognized their accomplishments and is proud of him. According to Eric, the building's name is Forrester, which appears on all of the labels. Carter needs their word that this is our company. Hope for the future is experiencing a comeback and needs to stay on the lineup. According to Eric, they would be silly to drop it if it were on the rise. That it came to this is something Carter detests. Without them, the victories have been meaningless. Ridge is informed by Eric that he was correct, the old Carter is still present. He should be there with them. Carter is at a loss for words. I apologize. I apologize for allowing this to get out of control. Ridge says, we missed you too, brother. I missed you both. What location is it? Carter shreds up the LLC paperwork after taking it out of a drawer. Then he hands his stapler to Eric and adds, there's one more thing. This is yours. Ridge and Carter exchange handshakes. Carter makes a stunning loyalty shift by selecting Forrester's, betraying Hope. Brotherhood triumphs, Carter selects Forrester's and betrays Hope. In an incredible act of devotion and atonement, the unimaginable occurred. Hope Logan's heart was broken, but what started off as a typical day at Forrester Creations became a turning point that would change the company's destiny. At last, Carter Walton made a decision, and it wasn't what everyone had anticipated. Carter has made a spectacular comeback to the Forrester family after months of protecting Hope and sticking by her side no matter what. Carter, Ridge Forrester, and Eric Forrester's tearful reunion is a major turning point for the business as well as the strained friendships that have been on the line. The confrontation that made all the difference. Ridge and Eric didn't use intimidation or legal threats to barge into Carter's office. Rather, they used something much more potent, respect and an olive branch, to approach their old friend. They told an astonished Carter, we've been impressed by what you've done, and gave him one more chance to make things right by giving the family back control of the business. It was an exciting moment. After weeks of struggling with allegiance and guilt, Carter finally faced the truth about what he had done. He had been struggling with the guilt of betraying his instructor, and Daphne Rose's earlier remarks had made it worse. Brotherhood's power over romance. The strength of male friendship, which finally triumphed over romance, is what makes this turn of events so intriguing. Carter acknowledged something very illuminating, Without Ridge and Eric by his side, his successes as the head of Forrester Creations seemed hollow. It was clear from Carter's face that this was never just about power or business. It was about the family he had chosen when he initially joined the Forrester enterprise, about fraternity, and about belonging. The emotional barrier was broken when Eric assured Carter that he was part of their group. Carter expressed his regret for how things had turned out thus far and acknowledged how much he had missed them. The future survives is the one condition. Carter didn't really give up on hope, which is a surprising turn of events that illustrates his complex emotions. Carter made one unavoidable requirement before consenting to give the Forresters back control: hope for the future had to stay in the Forrester lineup. Eric promptly concurred, demonstrating that the goal of this reconciliation was to reinstate the company's legitimate leadership rather than to destroy Hope. When Hope finds out about Carter's betrayal, this minor triumph may not bring her much consolation, but it does demonstrate that he still cares about her success. Power's symbolic destruction. The most dramatic part occurred when Carter, at Ridge's insistence, took out the LLC forms that had granted him authority over the business, the same ones that Ridge and Steffi had unintentionally signed, and tore them up physically before returning his stapler to Eric. There is no more obvious symbolism. Carter was essentially destroying his claim to leadership and giving the Forrester family back both the business and himself. The fruit of Daphne's manipulation. Much of the credit for this amazing turn of events should go to Daphne Rose. She had already sowed doubt in Carter's mind by reminding him of his conscience and implying that Hope was only taking advantage of him. "I know you think you're in love, darling, but she's using you," Daphne informed him in a moment of brutal honesty that evidently impacted hard. Her strategies weren't arbitrary, rather, they were a component of a well-thought-out plan that she and Steffi had created to awaken Carter's conscience and remind him of his true allegiances. Daphne implied romantic difficulties, which made the time for their intervention ideal, by telling Steffi that Carter wasn't as infatuated with Hope after she kissed him. She will be devastated by what Hope doesn't know. Hope was enjoying coffee with her mother when Carter made this crucial decision, totally oblivious to the fact that her entire world was about to fall apart. In a devastating irony, Hope was actually telling Brooke that she felt deceived by Daphne, not realizing that a much bigger betrayal was happening right then. Hope even brought up the kiss between Carter and Daphne, stating that she was attempting to put it behind her, a worry that will appear insignificant in comparison to what is about to happen. The repercussions will be devastating when Hope learns that Carter has literally destroyed their future together in addition to giving up control of the business. After all, Steffi recently fired the same individual due to an innocent miscommunication with Finn. Can Hope handle any more? Forrester Creations' future. Now that the Forresters are back in charge and Carter appears to have regained his place in the organization's leadership, the question is, what comes next? Hope for the future won't be entirely eliminated, based on Carter's emphasis on preserving it. However, the dynamics are now very different. In addition to losing her influence at work, Hope also lost the man who supported her when no one else did. Carter, on the other hand, has made his decision. In the end, the sense of camaraderie and belonging he experiences with Ridge and Eric outweighed any feelings he may have had for Hope. It remains to be seen if he would come to regret this choice after witnessing the suffering it causes. There is no doubt that family, even chosen family, always comes first in the world of Forrester Creations. And Carter Walton made the decision to be a true Forrester man today. As Poppy and Luna argue, Carter returns Eric and Ridge to Forrester. Friday, March 14, 2025, Brooke misses Ridge, Daphne reminds Carter that Hope is taking advantage of him, and the Forresters get ready to retake the company on Bold and the Beautiful today. In Thursday's B&B recap, Ridge and Taylor referred to Bill as despicable, Steffi forced Finn to put Luna back in jail, and Lee disowned Poppy. In the cabin, Brooke prepares coffee for Hope. When her daughter shows up, Brooke comments on how serene the place is. She has been contemplating. Hope makes assumptions about Ridge. Brooke acknowledges that it's difficult that Ridge is ignoring her as they discuss the startling Luna scenario. Hope begins to gripe about how painful it is that Daphne believes she is a user. She wanted to work with her since it meant so much to her, but she has deceived her. Sorry to hear this. Brooke wants to know how things are between her and Carter right now. Hope tells her about the kiss between Carter and Daphne. She's making an effort to see past that. After shouting at someone about Luna's pardon, Ridge hangs up the phone at Eric's. He mentions that Bill did this to him, Steffi, and Eric. Steffi says they must now concentrate on their task. They are getting the business back from Carter today. Although they acknowledge that Carter has been managing the LLC effectively, Forrester is not without its own flair. Ridge believes his old friend is still inside and only needs to be roused. Carter reflects on his betrayal of Ridge at the Forrester office. He must be missing his pal. Daphne swoops in and assumes. Reminding him of his illicit profits, she sits on his desk. She says, "I know you believe you're in love, darling, but she's taking advantage of you." Daphne meets Steffi at Eric's house. They discuss their strategy and how Carter's conscience has been stirred by Daphne. They all, including Carter, believe they are superior to Hope. Daphne loves him, but she is aware of how much he has harmed the business. Steffi, her father, and her grandfather had not yet written him off. They are offering him a final opportunity. Carter has undoubtedly been feeling bad for some time and is starting to see how Hope has been taking advantage of him, according to Daphne. She is aware of his longing for Ridge and Eric. Steffi claims this is his opportunity to demonstrate his moral character. Daphne hopes he pays attention to his intuition. Since Hope kissed him, he isn't as infatuated with her. Carter sighs as he recalls Daphne telling him he has a conscience back at the Forrester office. He is taken aback when Ridge and Eric enter and declare that they will return to their company. They inform Carter that they are impressed by his actions and are offering him another opportunity to put things right. This entails returning the business to the family. According to the Forresters, Hope forced him to compromise his morals. Carter acknowledges that he's been having trouble. He is appreciative that they are recognizing his accomplishments. This is their company, Eric reiterates. He insists that they maintain HFTF on the lineup before Carter will consent. Eric accepts that. Carter expresses his distaste for how things have come to this point, but without them, the triumphs have been nothing. Carter apologizes to them for allowing this to get out of control after Eric assures him that he belongs there among them. He has missed them. He takes out the LLC documents and tears them up at Ridge's insistence, then hands his stapler to Eric. He shakes hands with Ridge. Luna signs the release form at Bill's, and the warden gives her the packet containing her belongings. Telling her to stay out of trouble, he departs. Poppy arrives, irritated that she didn't inform her that she was under house arrest. She was never told who her father was, Luna reminds her. She would have been adored by Finn. He's a great man, and her mother destroyed her life by feeding her Nozawa power nonsense. Poppy maintains that no man she encountered was suitable for her and that she only wanted what was best for herself. She acknowledges her desire for Bill to be the father. Her kid is certain that she always knew it was Finn. Finn has always been a part of her life, Poppy informs her as she paces. She was continuously pleading for clues regarding her father, even though it was right in front of her the entire time, as Luna reminded her. Luna's mother dismisses her complaints about having a terrible childhood as she laments how her life may have been different. For once, her daughter demands the truth, accusing her of always knowing that Finn is her father. Carter's ultimatum, Ridge and Eric's push plan, and Daphne's determination. According to Friday, March 14th spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Daphne Rose is adamant about finding love. In the meantime, Carter Walton is going to be under pressure from Ridge and Eric Forrester. In other news, Carter is given a deadline. What will he do? Daphne Rose is adamant about ending Carter Walton and Hope Logan's relationship. Steffi Forrester hired Daphne to separate Carter and Hope Logan. Hope thinks she and Carter genuinely love each other and are in this together. Hope has only helped Carter accomplish what he says he desired. In turn, Carter has deceived her. Hope noticed Carter and Daphne sharing a kiss through a gap in the door as she was heading to see him in the CEO office at Forrester. Later, Hope became enraged and confronted them both about the kiss. Carter should force Daphne to leave and go back to Paris, according to Hope. Carter declined Hope's request. Daphne will use his remorse as an excuse to turn him against Hope once more. Carter Walton is under pressure from Ridge and Eric Forrester. Ridge is aware that Carter is struggling with his guilt about stealing the business from the Forresters, according to additional bold and beautiful spoilers for Friday's episode. Ridge and Eric will keep putting pressure on Carter to return to the family and give them back the business. Before he carried out this coup, Carter was trusted and accepted as a member of the Forrester family. Everyone, even Daphne, is persuaded by Steffi that Hope is responsible for this coup. But it was Carter who thought of this concept. Carter wanted to restore Hope for the future and restore Hope's employment. That will not work, though. Eric and Ridge want her to leave. If Carter doesn't return Forrester to them, he will also be leaving. An ultimatum is given to Carter Walton. Finally, according to spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful, Carter will give in and consent to return the business to the Forresters. Carter is aware that he had no authority to seize the business or attempt to impose an international brand. Carter is not relying on an ultimatum to remain employed by the organization. Carter will need to demonstrate his loyalty or else he may also depart. Let's say Ridge and Eric are certain that Carter murder Hope for the futures and fire Hope once more. That would win if Carter hadn't deceived Hope enough. Will Ridge and Eric order Carter to dump Hope and end their relationship? Has Carter finally been persuaded to turn on Hope by Daphne? After this, will Carter remain with Forrester? Daphne's urgent request. A character who is frequently caught in the crossfire of other people's disputes, Daphne finds herself in a precarious position where she must make a last-ditch appeal for assistance. Her hardships have culminated in this moment, where she must deal with the fallout from her decisions and the deeds of those around her. In addition to being a call for help, Daphne's appeal is a vulnerable moment in which she expresses her regrets, concerns, and aspirations for atonement. The prelude to the appeal. A number of difficulties, such as betrayal, deceit, and personal loss, have characterized Daphne's plot. She has had tense connections with important persons, and as the walls shut in around her, she feels more and more alone. Whether it's because of a failed romantic relationship, a career setback, or the revelation of a personal secret, Daphne eventually reaches a breaking point where she is unable to bear the strain on her own. Because the stakes are bigger than ever, she feels a feeling of urgency that fuels her desperation. She can be attempting to shield a loved one, keep her job, or keep a terrible truth from being revealed. For the reason, Daphne's appeal is a desperate attempt to alter the situation and take back control of her life. The request. Daphne's appeal is a heartfelt and unvarnished moment in which she opens herself to the person she thinks may assist her. She pleads for understanding, pardon, or assistance in her desperate words. In an attempt to win them over, she can make reference to their shared past, morals, or self-interest. Depending on the situation, the person she turns to may be a friend, a relative, or even an enemy. Regardless matter who it is, Daphne's appeal demonstrates her tenacity and resolve because she won't give up easily. Even though her prior activities have been dubious, her sensitivity in this particular moment makes her a sympathetic figure. Important topics and emotional risks. Themes of atonement, forgiveness, and the strength of interpersonal relationships are highlighted by Daphne's fervent appeal. It serves as a reminder that everyone deserves forgiveness and another chance, even those who have erred. Since the person she is appealing to must balance her demands against their own feelings and objectives, her plea also emphasizes the value of empathy and understanding. This is a pivotal moment for Daphne because she faces the repercussions of her actions and accepts accountability for her decisions. It's an opportunity for her to develop as a person and show that she can adapt. Regardless of the outcome of her plea, it is a pivotal point in her journey and establishes the framework for subsequent events in her plot. Ridge and Eric's last request. Eric and Ridge's relationship has always been complicated, characterized by competitiveness, affection, and divergent future goals. As they come to a point where compromise is impossible, their final demand represents a dramatic conclusion to their prolonged power struggle. Tension is high at this point because both men must face their disagreements and make choices that will affect their lives for a long time. The ultimatums build up. Because of their divergent views on business, family, and life in general, Eric and Ridge's disagreement has been simmering for a while. As the family's patriarch, Eric stands for custom, security, and a dedication to leaving a legacy. Conversely, Ridge exemplifies creativity, drive, and a willingness to pave his own way. Although they have had many arguments due to their divergent ideas, their love and respect for one another have always prevented them from being too close, until now. A certain incident or choice that compels both men to make a stance sets off the ultimate ultimatum. Maybe there is a fundamental difference about their family's future, a personal betrayal that Ridge cannot forgive, or a commercial deal that goes against Eric's beliefs. Regardless of the cause, it strains their relationship to the breaking point and eliminates any possibility of compromise. The last word. Ridge and Eric both maintain their positions as the ultimatum is given in a heated and emotionally charged exchange. Using his position of responsibility as the head of the household, Eric makes a last demand of Ridge: either comply or suffer the repercussions. He believes in the value of tradition and loyalty, which is reflected in his tough and unyielding statements. But Ridge isn't going to give up. Even if it means defying his father's wishes, he affirms his right to make his own judgments and questions Eric's authority. Years of wrath and frustration are released during this intense and intensely personal discussion. The ultimatum is about identity, autonomy, and the fight for power, not just about business or family. Important topics and emotional risks. Themes of generational conflict, the fight between tradition and innovation, and the intricacies of father-son relationships are all explored in the final ultimatum between Ridge and Eric. Both characters are forced to face their own shortcomings at this point, as well as the effects of their decisions on people around them. Eric sees the ultimatum as a test of his power and flexibility in the face of change. He has to confront the prospect of losing his son's devotion and respect, which makes it a vulnerable moment as well. Ridge sees the ultimatum as an opportunity to demonstrate his independence and his capacity to run the family in his own manner. It also carries the risk of alienating his father and irreparably harming their relationship. The repercussions. The ultimatum has serious repercussions since it alters family dynamics and creates the groundwork for future disputes. It remains to be seen if Ridge and Eric can work out their differences or if their relationship is irreparably damaged. It is evident, therefore, that their latest demand represents a watershed in their narrative, with enduring ramifications for all those concerned. In conclusion, key scenes in the story that highlight the characters' emotional range and complexity include Daphne's desperate plea and Eric and Ridge's final ultimatum. While Eric and Ridge's ultimatum examines the conflict between tradition and innovation as well as the difficulties of family dynamics, Daphne's appeal emphasizes themes of redemption and the strength of human connection. When combined, these plotlines provide the larger tale additional depth and interest, leaving readers curious about what will happen next. Please let me know if you would like more particular information or analysis.